Today is the 4th of July, so if you're watching this and you're an American, happy Independence Day. I hope you're having a great day doing... I don't know what Americans actually do on Independence Day. Barbecue flavoured freedom, I expect. But whilst I'm talking about all things American, I'd like to congratulate the American women's football team for reaching the World Cup final, albeit by knocking out England. And, you know what, it's the 4th of July. Just for today, soccer isn't a sport I'd usually watch. That's because the men's game, I can't stand the diving, the screaming, the endless histrionics. If a player gets tapped on the shoulder, he'll go down like he's taking a direct hit from a fucking howitzer. And generally, if I'm given the choice between watching an international football match or slamming my gentleman vegetables in the fridge door for an hour and a half, I'll make my way to the kitchen. But given that the women's game isn't as commercial, none of that goes on, it's just a sport. But the game between England and the USA wasn't without controversy, because America's top goal scorer, I think she's called Alex Morgan, on scoring what turned out to be the winning goal of the match, for her goal celebration, she pretended to drink a cup of tea. Now, some people have said that this could be construed as racist because it was so close to the 4th of July, it could be a reference to the Boston Tea Party, thus a dig at their English opponents. Now, some people have become annoyed by this retrospectively, but when I was watching the game live, I thought nothing of it. The commentator said nothing happened on social media. And there's virtually nothing in the British press about it either. There's loads in the American press. Every article has to state how much tea the British drink during a day, because we love drinking tea. When the cup's up there, it covers up our awful teeth. But the reason we're not offended by it, and please, Americans, don't be worried about offending the British about the American War of Independence, because crucially, none of us give a fuck. We've moved past it. But it's great that you get to celebrate it. We've moved on. We lost. But given that it is the 4th of July, and because I've done so many videos slating American tourists, and because the USA is a great country with lovely people, today I thought I'd mention one trait which all American tourists have, which is very endearing. Because when they come to Britain, Americans never cease to be amazed at how fucking old everything is, because America's a very young country, whereas we've just got medieval shit laying about everywhere. Now, in my home city, Norwich, when I was living there, every summer, it turned out I was being some sort of unpaid and unwitting tourist guide, because there would be countless American tourists who'd come up and would always ask the same two questions. The first would be, excuse me, is that a real castle? And I'd look at it and think, does it look like it's made of fucking fiberglass or balsa wood? Or is it a hologram? Of course it's a real castle. So I'd say, yes, it is a real castle. And the next question would always be, so how old is it? And I'd say, well, it's round about 900 years old. And it blew their fucking minds. Every one of them, the cameras would be out. It's 900 years old. That's 900 years old. In Britain, we're used to that shit. If you want to see this at its best effect, go to Stonehenge. Stonehenge in England, watch the difference between the English and the American tourists. The Americans are changing the batteries on their SLRs, putting in new memory sticks to photograph every square bloody inch of the place, whereas us English, we walk around and go, just a pile of fucking rocks, innit? 17 quid to see this shit. But that does also explain why when English people, or British people, because Mrs. Disgruntled is from, oh hang on, she's from Northern Ireland, so she's not Brit. Right? Yeah. People from the UK, when we go to America, it's why we're so underwhelmed by everything. A few years ago, when we were on holiday in San Francisco, the tour guide made a really big deal of stopping the tour coach and going, some of these houses are 100 years old. And I'm sorry, people in Britain, we all live in houses that are 100 fucking years old. We've got furniture that's 100 years old. Either way, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, my American friends.